But yeah, like I was saying, if you a man that your grandma and your mama taught how to cook, you still appreciate a woman who know how to cook. But
Hmm.
Absolutely.
if your mama never taught you how to cook, and you run into a woman that can burn, man,
In there.
seriously, most women don't get it. They don't get it. They like, look,
But I mean,
baby, you look good. You look good, but can you cook?
mhm. You see,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
you touch my heart like gospel.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeedy. Yes,
What
Yeah.
Crawford
indeedy.
what Crawford say? I ain't going no damn where.
I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? You know, that's the funny thing about relationships. I always tell people I'm easy. You know, I'm easy to please. There's certain
Hmm.
things like as long as you're not disrespectful. This is when I was dating and with my wife. As long as you're not disrespectful. See, disrespect, because I was raised by men and strong women, disrespect will not be tolerated. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
the other stuff you could deal with. Because to me, in my mind, disrespect, this person is looking at you like they don't give a damn about you.
It's
And they,
intentional. Yeah.
yeah, it's intentional. And you ain't gonna do nothing about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, with a woman, if she's unfaithful, and I say that when I was a young boy, it didn't matter because I was unfaithful at the same time because I wasn't married. You know what I'm saying? But she's doing that to her body. So I'm not being disrespectful. I'm not being disrespected when she does that, right?
Hmm.
When the disrespect comes in, it's when you look at me when I catch you and say, well, you ain't shit anyway. That's, I'm this and I'm that, and try to grab his hand. Now that's disrespectful. Like, you don't, you know what I'm saying? You judging, you are actually in the wrong, but you judging my character.
Hmm.
So the anger comes, and the propensity of violence is very high, very high. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying I would go out of control or anything like that, but I just wanted, I wanted to make it clear what I felt in a relationship is disrespectful. You feel me?
Hmm.
Like in
Oh
my
yeah.
house, you know what I'm saying? That this stuff we always see. You know
things
what I mean?
like things like that, man. I equate. I mean, respect is one thing, man. But if you do something as well down as that, if you're a person who sees a victim in your mate, I mean, that's hate, man.
Yeah.
That's hate. People live with people that they hate every day,
Yeah.
and and they thrive with them.
So what? So wait,
Yeah.
be more specific in what you mean.
Look, I can be disrespectful, man. I can be very disrespectful. You know what I mean, and love somebody at the same time. It's gonna happen. Because I used to be the same way. I mean, I didn't. I never gave you an inch. Because I knew you was looking for a mile. You know,
Gotcha.
but
Because you don't
I
know no better. Yeah.
yeah, well, yeah,
Hmm.
but the older I got, man, I I say some pretty slick shit, man. That that people is
Get it?
that people that's not in position could perceive as disrespect. Because that's just my sense of humor. But I get what you're saying, man. But
Yeah, but look, you can be slick out the mouth, brother. Just my opinion about it. You can be slick out the mouth,
mhm.
right? But if you don't touch those three things, where it's personal, where you know it's a sore spot, you feel what I'm saying? Or you feel as though you're the prize in this relationship, So
Hmm.
you downgrade them when you feeling bad about yourself. Because that's a lot of times in relationships, in my opinion, that people treat their partner jacked up. I'm
Hmm.
talking about from the physical, emotional, and spiritual abuse is when they don't think they shit, when
Hmm.
they don't have a high opinion of themselves. So in a roundabout way, what they try to do is make the person that's riding with you, that person might get on your nerves, but the person that's riding with you want to make them feel as miserable as you.
Yep.
You know, it is what it is.
Yeah. If I hate me and you with me, then what kind of
Yeah,
person is you?
yeah, yeah.
I mean, but you'd be hard
Yeah.
pressed to find somebody to actually admit that they hated themselves, man. But with all the drinking
Yeah.
and whoring and drugging and other forms of self abuse that people do, man, that's it's self hatred. It really is, man. I mean, hell, I've been smoking since I was 11 years old. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? And I've had every piece of information to tell me that eventually, if I don't stop, the shit's gonna damage me if it already hasn't.
Uh-huh.
But if I love myself as much as I claim to verbally, then I would have stopped years ago.
You know what? And Keith, you can chime in on this.
Hmm.
Have we ever? It is rare unless your parent has gone through it, or your grandparent, or your aunt, or your uncle has gone through it. Hell, a cousin that you love has gone through it, and you people are taught how to love themselves.
Hmm.
And I'm not talking about with selfish acts. I'm talking about to really look in the mirror and like, yo, this me and you in the long haul. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
This is us.
But why do we hate it though? Why do we hate selfishness?
I
And
don't.
not to cut you off, but especially during these times of air quotes self love. Why do we hate? Why do we hate selfishness? We do. That's one of
It's
the worst traits that we could bestow upon a person is selfishness. But it's required. Selfishness is required. I mean, is,
Self-aware.
is it ever malicious? You looking out for your
Yes,
best interest. Is it
sometimes.
ever malicious? How?
Sometimes because if it's well, Keith, give me your
yeah.
opinion and then I'll share mine.
Yeah. I think with it's taught, it's bred into us, but where they miss it, there's a difference between self love and if I'm doing it and looking down on you at the same time, or giving off the thing, I'm doing self love, I'm promoting myself, but at the same time, I'm belittling you. That's the thing that they're saying that's not cool. But it's cool for you to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and be, hey man, you got it going on, or you had a good day. You got this. You don't worry about everybody else. You just go out and do your thing. It ain't saying if you're on a team, a basketball team, give me the ball, let me. That's not what you're saying. You promote boosting yourself up. But if you doing it like, hey, yeah, I'm the man on this team. Hey, y'all just give it to me because y'all can't get it done. That's the thing that people tie in to it. And that's what I don't believe a lot of people are doing. Confidence gets confused with selfishness.
I understand. I appreciate that. I think to a certain degree, a dash of arrogance is acceptable.
Oh no, no, no.
There's no problem
Arrogance,
with it.
confidence,
Yeah.
Yeah.
arrogance, confidence. Yes, sir.
I
I
mean,
To
mean,
me, it's actually funny.
but you rarely ever you rarely ever hear anybody use the word arrogance in a positive connotation.
Exactly.
hey, and you want to know why I think? It's because that person that's calling him arrogant
Exactly.
recognizes that that man or that woman might be right about how they're speaking. You know what I'm saying? Let me put it like this. how many times, and I think it's 50-50, but how many times have a project or something that a group, the community is going for, right? And then somebody who has the greater personality who might speak up, not take control, but might speak up on it, becomes that focal point that people like gravitate to, because that's what happens. It's human nature, right? But then, I'm speaking from the church, I'm speaking from community action, all this. Then you have people on the side, like, who do they think they are? Who, what is going on? Even though that person may or may not be doing it on purpose, you say it in the background because your confidence level is not where it should be.
That's the ticket right there. That's the thing. Yep.
Like, yo, hold on. Wait a minute, man. You know what I mean? If I have somebody that's lead, see, the greatest thing a leader could do is know when to follow. My dad told me that. You understand what I'm saying? Learn how to follow. Because I'm like this. If I don't agree with you, guess what I'm gonna do? I was taught this at an early age.
Yeah.
May I speak? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And not to stop the action, but hey, explain this action. Explain this.
Everybody deserves clarification, and
Yeah.
Damn right.
if they're trying to move with you,
You're damn right.
Yeah.
and if your intentions are pure and for the benefit of the group or whatever, you don't have any qualms about explaining yourself.
You take the time, even if it is inconvenient. If you have a quick moment to like, all right, this is why. But we got to move on this.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I'm
saying? We talk. We build an airplane while we fly this, but we all got the blueprint.
Well, I'm going to acknowledge what you're saying, but you know that we have went through this ad nauseum before we pulled this trigger. Now all of a sudden, your confidence level, men and women, your confidence level, kind of like, oh, it's wavering because the moment is bigger. Especially when you're moving in a group, the moment is going to always seem bigger because you guys are doing big things. You know what I'm saying?
It's why it's always good, man, to, especially if you're working on a project with a large group, man, to have movement involved with whatever material you're trying to learn, so it becomes muscle memory. So if you learn the speech to dance steps or whatever, whenever you do that dance, you probably remember that speech.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of times I get into when it comes to my boys and my wife sometimes, but when it comes to my sons, you know, my it's not my job. It is what my passion is to plant seeds in preparation on you leading your family like I'm leading you. Right? And Jaquari, you'll attest to our father had no problems with repeating himself to us. And I'm glad that I picked that up. I get on their nerves. But if I'm saying the right thing, let it get on your nerves. You know what I'm saying? Especially my youngest son is approaching adulthood. So my job is never done, but guess what? They are about to get into this life and they are forming their lives. And the different seeds that I planted, that either I planted and sowed or is prepared to be sowed, it's coming to an end for my youngest. Now it's for him to, what do church folks say, Keith? Sit down and be still.
it's always struck me as funny, man. You know, in regards to fathers and sons, man, to where when they just about to leave the house, man, and you start seeing a little bit more chest from the son or whatever. They want to base up a little bit more or whatever. Then they get their ass out to the world, and they see that everything that you were saying, if you got some sense, is close to truth.
Close to truth.
And somebody or something humbles them, and they got to come back and they got to have that conversation.
Yeah,
that is one of the most pivotal moments, in the lives of fathers and sons, man. I remember when I had a particular conversation with our father, Keith. I mean, it was shit. I didn't know whether I was coming or going, man. Or like he used to say, I didn't know whether to scratch my ass or wind my watch, man, for real.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And instead of him saying I told you so, he sat down and he goddamn repeated himself. He said everything in about a matter of 45 minutes that he had told me over my whole goddamn 18, 19 years of life.
I find myself doing that all the time.
Yeah. So so I don't look at it as a job, man. You know what? We were
no, hell no.
Raising my daughter, man. That's what it was. It was the duty, man. But I loved it, man. I really love being involved, with the development of young people, man.
Yeah.
So Keith, from your perspective, because like we know your background as far as your grandparents and all of that. Mm-hmm. What are your perspective on this?
Well, get tip which part of it? Tim,
as far as okay, your conversation.
Okay.
What was being repeated to you? Whose opinion did you value more? Whose opinion do you remember? And what example? You know what I'm saying? What example do you still remember?
Yeah, from it was kind of broken up. Most of the time, like from my grandfather, it was very direct, and it was he tell you survival stuff. It was more stuff to survival. Well, my grandmother, she would there were lessons, and it was like, well, you shouldn't do that, or this is this is how you should do. And it was more of a compromising type thing. For my grandfather, it was more direct, like was something to pop in my head. He was talking about how to deal with certain people, certain groups of people, and he was saying, with this certain group of people, he said,
you stick your hand in the flame, you're gonna get burned.
Yeah, and he said that they already think a lot of themselves.
Yeah,
he said you can get anything out of them you want to, but what you have to do is remember that they think a lot of themselves. He says, so you encourage that. Hey, man, you really good at that. I wish I could do that. I just can't do that like you. Oh, man, it ain't nothing to it. It's this and this. This all I do is this. And they give it to you.
Okay.
Because he said, not because you something special. You made them feel special. You acknowledge, you stroked the ego. Mm-hmm. So they gave it to you. Any other time, I ain't giving you, because you look like you look.
Yeah.
I ain't supposed to give you this.
I gave it to you because you didn't ask me for it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, look, let's do this real quick, and we'll come back to this subject. Let's go ahead and start this program. We'll see y'all on the other side, gentlemen.
All right.
welcome everybody to this edition of Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong, along with
Uncle Spoke.
Keith Barnes.
KB, what's going on, brother?
Hey Keith.
Not
You got a
much, not
nickname,
much.
man. You done been on here for so long. We need look. You know both our
Actually,
nicknames. Yeah. What's your nickname, brother?
I got a bunch of them. My grandparents called me Sport. That's my nickname.
Oh, Bo? Oh yeah.
Sport. Yeah, Sport. That's my
Yeah.
nickname.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
my siblings, they called, well, not my sibling, my buddy, they would call me Booty.
Wow.
I ain't calling you booty, brother.
No, I'm not
Booty.
gonna call you booty either, man.
Yep.
What's
Yeah,
Okay.
going on?
Booty, and
Well, let's
then it was KB. KB is one of them too. So
okay. Well, you think about, because you've been on, you come on here enough. You think about whether or not you want to still give us your government or you want to give your nickname, brother. You know what I'm saying? Because you're a friend of the show, you might as well be a part of the show. You know
all
what I'm
right,
saying?
I'm gonna do it.
More to solidify your spot, bro.
And do
All
not,
right.
you my guy. I'm never gonna call you booty, man. You crazy if you think that. No.
Just
They called you booty with a straight faced dog.
yeah, it was Booty Bandit. Booty Bandit. That's what.
No. You should have
There's a
said
story
that.
behind it. Oh,
Yeah,
there's a story behind it.
keep
Yeah, but
you keep digging that
Booty
hole,
Bandit.
bro.
Yeah, Booty Bandit. Yeah, Booty
You
Bandit.
keep
Yeah,
digging.
that's
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you to explain. You keep it up. Shit.
I can explain it.
But look, it was a nice conversation before we started the program. So look, you see on the screen Corey Thompson, also another friend of the show, right?
Story.
Yeah. Corey says behavior patterns don't lie. Also, wolves and sheep are part of the group dynamic, and we forget that. So that's how it works. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I feel that. I mean, what y'all think, man? You know, as far as what Corey says.
I agree with it. I mean, for me, using discernment and everything, it's always easy to tell who the wolves and sheep are. The difference between the two is the wolves are always relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
Be their intentions good or bad. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. They're direct. People listen to them, and they get that they get things done.
Okay. Keith.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. And plus, the thing is this: they they play. They tend to be more manipulative because they're trying to, like you say, they have an agenda.
Yeah.
As the wolf, they have an agenda,
Bloodthirsty.
and yeah, and sometimes they will have to be more gentle, go along. They have to get in to perform their agenda. But
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I agree. It's both. It's perspective and who you're dealing with. Sometimes they're just trying to piss on your parade. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
they may legitimately be.
I
Hey, Keith.
Uh-huh.
But before you move on, were you done, KB?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right. Just a quick question. Just a quick question. Which one do you think is more dangerous, the wolves or the sheep? Because in my opinion, man, the wolves, like I said, they're straightforward. You know that, at some point, in some form or fashion, they're going to come at your throat. But the sheep, I mean, the support that they need, a person that's characterized, as a sheep, with a sheep mentality, the kind of support and resources that they need, man, can be, astronomical at times. Because you got to protect this person, you got to share your resources, you got to, you got to lay yourself bare to these people. I'm not saying that they're dependent upon you, but if you can be a part of their leg up. They definitely won't mind using you. You know, but people who are characterized as wolves, you know, wolf packs, you know, are they're rough, but they're cooperative.
Oh yeah, they follow each other, but yeah, but you need the sheep because the sheep are the movers and the shakers. You're speaking from a human point of view. You know what I'm saying? Because people are afraid to become wolves,
You think
and
so?
yeah, I think so because wolves think a lot of their ability and don't give a fuck. Sheep, and that makes people afraid to take that chance because you got to think about it. Wolves, to me, and I'm talking about the leader of the pack, right? They they teeter on self confidence and confidence because a wolf, and I'm talking about when it comes to human form, not the actual wolves, because wolves are a community in the wildlife. You know what I'm saying? And they move as one, and they're very cooperative. But when it comes to the men and the women, when it comes to men and women, when the wolves attack. Wolves attack, and they're bloodthirsty. And to me, I think it's because of self confidence. I'm talking about human beings now, because of self confidence and just the simple fact that they are always in survival mode. You know what I mean? That's my opinion about it. You know what I mean? Because I can try to reinforce my opinion if you like, but this is my thing. The sheep are the movers and shakers because wolves try to do what? They try to manipulate the sheep so the masses go to where they need to go.
That's conservation though, man. I mean, because
Uh,
you could have a wolf pack and a herd of deer, but the wolves won't hunt the deer to extinction. They pick off the weak, you know, and the sick. So they're not gonna totally destroy the structure or whatever. But a sheep will just fucking graze and graze and graze until the land is bare.
Because they're happy where they are. No stress. Hey, that's he leading, so I don't have that pressure. But guess what? Me and my family get to eat our patch of land. You know what I'm saying? And when we move, even though we might leave this shit, we might leave this shit barren. We're gonna leave it full. You know what I'm saying? You gotta think about what we're going through in this political environment. It's the same thing. The wolves is these politicians. These politicians, either they like the Red Riding Hood wolves, where they always in disguise, or they're a pack of wolves, where they don't give a fuck if you know where they at or not. You know what I'm saying?
ah, my thing with I spoke on the wolf, the sheep part of it, and this special. I'm talking about people. Um, the sheep that I'm wary of are the ones that will actually make you vulnerable to the wolves because they will, like politicians, they'll get there and they'll start grazing. So they're in some really good grass. They in the grass, they looking at the wolves. The wolves just ain't hungry right now. They don't feel like eating. So they laying there watching you eat. Or Pride of Lions or whatever. You see that on wildlife shows. Antelopes out there that's kind of grazing and lions laying over there sleep, chilling there. It ain't time to eat. They ain't hungry yet.
Mm-hmm.
So they get comfortable, and then the rest of them like, oh shoot, they over there. Let's go get some of this grass. This is good. Then it's dinner time.
Mhm.
The male wake up and like, okay, yeah, okay, it's time to eat. They go eat their ass up. So and so that's what happens when you got following petition, a politician or something, or someone of that nature. But you get laid out there, and then when stuff hit the fan, and the thing is, the politician or that one sheep that was ahead that led you, made the other ones vulnerable, out because they following him.
I mean, they follow the Rams. So
Yeah,
the Rams got heart, but the Rams are not that fucking smart though.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The
But to
Rams are
them,
the
that's our
Rams
guy.
are the Rams are headbutt anybody come their way like
Yeah,
crash. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But they not smart because
right,
the Rams are still being led by somebody. You know what
right.
I'm saying?
So to answer the question, I think it's kind of a trade off there. There are some times where the sheep can be more dangerous to you than the wolves
In in
because
in,
the wolves are
in
what they
mass,
are. If you act, yeah,
in masses, yes.
get a false sense of security.
I agree with. I believe I agree with Corey Thompson. The politicians are pretending to be wolves. Yeah, I mean that's how they see.
Of course.
That's how the government sees the masses. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
the
That's how they
masses
get to you.
are the wolves at the gate, and the
Yeah,
laws and the fucked up legislature that they create, you know, is used to pin us in
yeah.
That's it.
You
or
know,
pin them in because they're the sheep. Yeah.
yeah, they're just Ancobia, what's up, baby? Zay, baby boy, Ancobia, another friend of the show. Look, I want you guys' opinion on this. I have always been the kind of person, the kind of man, the kind of human being, the kind of everything that every name that I am, understanding that once I learn the truth about something, the way things go in my relationships, in my life, in my personal life, wherever on the job, once I understand the truth about it, I'm able to make the decision whether or not I want to fuck with it. Do you guys think it is fair that most people should feel that way? And what I mean by that is once I make a decision not to me, once I make a decision not to do something, right? I don't give a fuck what the consequences is. And that's why I said, do you think it's fair that everybody should think that way? Because I made a decision if when it came to my job, if it's risking my job for me to say something, I'm still going to say it because I need to sleep. You know what I'm saying? It might be foolhardy, but I need to sleep. I need to know that I'm being true to myself. Is it realistic that everyone should feel that way, or you think it should be a happy medium on how you respond to these things? I'm going somewhere with this question. So what do you guys think?
What makes you sleep? The one that lets you sleep.
And people in the chat, if you see this, if you want to respond, please respond, and we put you on the screen. You
Yeah,
said it makes you sleep.
the
What
thing
do
that
you?
lets you the response that helps you sleep, which is sleep well at night. I
Mhm.
think that's the one, and I'm speaking on that in from true life experience because I have a mountain of stuff that I wish I had not. Okay, I ain't gonna. I'm gonna just let it go so we can move on to the next thing. And it
Yeah,
bugged me later on, and I'm thinking I should have cussed you out, or I should have did,
yeah.
but I let it slide. I be the bigger person. I've been the bigger person way too many times. But if you'd have made that one, and it's been some time where I made a comment, even if it don't go the way you want it to go, just you say, look, what you just said was, I don't agree with it. That was nonsense or whatever. Or don't do that around me. Don't do that to me. And then move on. You can sleep better at night.
Mhm. Mhm.
Absolutely.
Because if the person double back and do it again, then you look crazy. Because when they do it that second time, it's gonna be like, hey, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
You so and so, and then they looking like, hey, man, I mean, I did that before. You know, what's
Yeah.
wrong with you today? No,
Especially,
something was wrong with me last time.
yeah. I think that's why I took that stance. Ja'Quari, what do you think?
I think, man, in regards to more moral situations, man, a happy medium is a hard thing to find. I mean, you know, you stand where you stand, on certain subjects, and for you to falter is you not being who you think you are.
Mm.
You know, I mean that's one question I'd ask the person in that scenario. Who do you think you are, and how would that person react, and how would it benefit?
Yeah.
What's the negative? You know, because just because a person can say and often do say, fuck it, I'm not fucking with this. This is bullshit. Are they prepared to deal with that loss? You know what I mean? A lot of times they aren't.
I mean,
A lot of times they aren't, man, and they go instead of using tact that's appropriate to the situation. They go with the first thing that comes to mind. The first statement, which usually begins with motherfucker. You
yeah.
know,
Hmm.
you can't say that in the boardroom.
No, you can't.
It took you.
But the boarding room is a little different, though, ain't it, dog? I mean, to be honest with you, when it comes to your job, it's concerned because you accepting those positions, it's a bunch of political bullshit that goes with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
I mean, like I said, what's your standard, man? I mean, is 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 this offense egregious enough for me to find employment elsewhere?
yeah.
I'm not
That
saying
thing.
that. Yeah, I'm not saying that. I won't speak up because I have spoken up. You know what I mean? But I also understood that I needed to be somewhere Monday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
You know.
I taught myself to be that from a young man, from right before maybe middle of high school. I taught that myself to be that when it came to my friends, when it came to my teachers, and it evolved more as I went. Because a lot of times the people who know me, like, oh damn, you Keith, you didn't have no problem with saying that. I had to teach myself that. You,
Hmm.
you you understand what I'm saying? I had to teach myself that. Now the majority of the time, people who know me, I don't go in with my shotgun blasting like you mother blah 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 blah. No, I ask a question, like, yo, do you think I was gonna go for that? And I'm gonna give you details of what my problem is, because what I try to do the first time is give you a warning of who you're dealing with, whether you respect it or not. Because I am going to say something if you try to pull it again. I'm going to give you, hey, my man,
Hmm.
or young lady, I got a problem with that shit. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
let's talk about this, because the next time that you and I have this question again, somebody's gonna turn that fire up on that gas stove, like, yo, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, come
Right.
on. Because what I try to do, and this from professionally, work wise, I try to be a professional all the time. Keith, you remember me saying to you, when it came to our job, I follow a professional script. What I'm there for, why I'm there, when, where, how, and
Hmm.
what am I supposed to do with this? and I stick to it. As much as personal things would get in the way of it, I covered the professional part first. Then I could double back if it was personal. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's fair. Like a lot of times, and tell me what y'all think about this. A lot of times, people think you're weak because you trying to be fair.
Yeah.
Do you think
Yep.
fairness, in chat, let us know. Do you think fairness, and before you answer the question, I want to read this on the screen. Do you think fairness is a weak trait when you try to make sure things continue on smoothly? And Cobia says, the dope question. Do you have the Constitution, the depth of faith to go as far as necessary? You know what I mean? That kind of chimes in on, that's why I wanted to read it, kind of chimes in. But you hear this good guys finish last, and you're too nice, and you this. What the fuck is that?
What it is, man, is it's counter to everything that we were taught ever since we was toddlers or whatever, man. All of our games, man, were based in fairness. All of our kids' games, they were based in fairness. You know, we were all taught to be little gentlemen. You know, and then when we get out into the world with an expectation to be productive, people tell us to do the complete opposite of all those things. We got to go for people's throats.
When they doing it to you, I
Oh,
should
no.
add it. And when they doing it to you,
A lot
oh,
of
you need
people,
to be fair. I'm
a
dicking you
lot,
over, but you need to be fair when you respond to me.
yeah. The majority of people I say don't wait for nothing, nobody to do nothing to them.
Yeah.
They don't care about fairness. It's I'm gonna get you before you get me.
And I
Society.
I
That's
respect
it.
I respect it. When I say I respect it, keeping you can go after this. I respect it, but it's still wrong. And you have to prepare yourself for the foolishness of it. You know what I'm saying? So what do you think, Key?
I think the people that say that make those statements or say that you're too nice or whatever like that, that's them rationalizing them being a jerk.
Good point.
I was a jerk, but you made me be you allowed me to be a jerk. Not I chose to be a jerk. Or I chose to take advantage or manipulate or whatever. They want to put the blame on you. Hey, if you'd behave differently, you gave me the opportunity. So that's all that it's a selfish thing they do.
And I'm selfish. You know what I'm saying? But I had to talk because the responsibility that my parents gave me for me and my brothers, I had to learn not to be selfish. You feel what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So the first thing that pops in my mind is the selfishness. You know what I'm saying? But the thing that I have learned that's best is the right thing when it's dealing with people. You feel me?
Hmm.
Now, I'm not a sucker. Let me just say that. Just put it out there. I'm not a sucker. But it's funny where when I make a decision, I have already considered everything. You know what I mean? Because you go through that selfish thing, like, yo, how does it affect me? How does it affect my family? What is it going to do me in the long run? And then when it's neutral through all this, I got you, bro. Let's go. Now there's a split second thinking now. I got you. Come on, bro. Okay, we good. Let's make it happen. Feel what I'm saying? I just think that what's so crazy about it is I love being a good-hearted person, and it don't come natural for me.
I don't. I mean, I
It
got a good.
never came natural for me.
I got a good heart, but I don't think I'm supposed to, for real, man. Because
Tell me why, Jaquari.
cause I mean, I, I believe in reciprocation, man. I mean, I believe in, if I compliment you, you know what I mean. I'm not standing there, with bated breath, waiting for you to send a compliment back. But when I speak to you, say good morning. If I'm cordial, if I see enough value in you as a person to acknowledge you, you know, do the same to me.
I get it.
And everybody is like, well, you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to say good morning. You didn't have to. You didn't have to try to brighten somebody else's day. Come on, man. We're human beings, man. And we all need a little stroking every once in a while.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
But I've learned to deal with stuff like that not being reciprocated, and it used to burn. I used to be like, shit, well, fuck you, pal. But
Mhm.
that got me hostility. When I was a little kid, Keith, I was probably one of the most blunt, honest people, man, that you could ever know, because that's how I was raised.
Yeah.
Liars never won,
I mean, and
and
that's the thing.
they was gonna burn in hell. So
Listen,
I ain't lie. But I
like,
had you told me at one time. I had several people tell me when I was young that I was too blunt. So I had to temper it over the years. And now I'm the guy that people come and talk to, because I know how to deliver bad news.
You got to deliver the bad news.
Yeah, it's a fucking bad. It's a burden, bro.
it's a burden.
It's a burden.
It's a burden.
It really is. Uh, and I'm programmed to it. And it's people that I grew up with, and I ask them. I said, look, when I walk in a room, in your mind, do you hear that Looney Tune music? Dun, 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 dun. I'm supposed to start tap dancing and telling jokes and shit.
Mm,
I'm just sitting in the chair sipping a drink. Why you keep asking me what's wrong? I'm looking around like, I'm just sitting here.
mm,
So for you to feel comfortable, I got to for you to feel comfortable. That's where I got to be.
why you don't feel good as me?
Right.
that what that's that people's self-confidence and how they see life, where it's an easy target
Yeah.
when they feel the attention is off them, and they put it on, because that's what it is, transferring things when they say different things. Like me, I always speak. So if I ask you, yo, you good? You know that it's coming from a genuine place. Like, dude, I speak to you all the time. You know what I mean? You kind of give me your ass to kiss. I said, first and foremost, I don't kiss nobody's asses. Let's make sure that I know to stay away from your ass today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I need confirmation, like, hey, you my
Yeah.
man, you my
I'm good.
girl, but if you don't want to be bothered, you won't be bothered. You
Right.
feel what I'm saying? It's what it
That's
is.
it.
It's what
That's
it
all
is.
I ask for.
You know, I think about it. Is there an expectation? And we'll start with you, Keith. Is there a generalized expectation on how we're supposed to act, since we're on the subject, how we're supposed to act around other people?
Yes.
Why do you think is an expectation?
This and it's double edged with us because once again I was born by I was raised by people born in the early 20s. So there was a certain way
being
that
being
you just
being taught how to
respectful.
survive this thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
It was a
saying?
respectful way, the way to carry yourself. The baby boomers won't fall off because they raised them. So it was a certain way. And, y'all know that if an adult disrespectful to you as a kid or something, first thing your parents want to know, well, what did you say?
Yeah.
Were you disrespectful? No, sir. No. Okay. I'll deal with them.
I'm getting ready to go deal with it right now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
But if
Yeah.
you were disrespectful, that's they got to deal. They're gonna deal with that. You don't be disrespectful. My short answer is that it was programmed in us that way.
Okay.
But there are people that take advantage of it.
Got you.
So,
Jaquari.
In a nutshell, man, Constitution tells us that, as American citizens, we are granted, certain inalienable rights and shit. The right to pursue happiness, the right to own guns and goddamn vote. But it also says that, as a citizen, you don't have the right to put me in jeopardy at any point. I can
Mm-hmm.
protect myself, you know, and in most cases, if I have fear of you taking something from me, I'd be in the right.
Got
So
you.
that's and I had something else to say, man, but I just forgot it.
never feel
Yeah.
I'm
they
sorry.
will.
No, it come back to me.
Mm,
I think, and that's the thing where I had a conversation, that let me know when you want to tell me, Jaquari. So I'm kind of,
I'm,
I'm a,
I'm, I'm
oh,
good.
you remembered or you good?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
We can move on.
I had, I had a conversation when I was putting up this notification today. I had a conversation with an acquaintance of mine, and we were talking. We was talking about, and this is not a racial thing, but it's my own personal point of view. And that's the thing about it is we have always had to watch what we say or temper our opinion about things, right? So in this certain conversation we was talking about. Now, matter of fact, I'll tell you, my brother Damon, he asked me. He said, Keith, when it came to us growing up, what do you feel about our assimilation to our education, right? And I'm not going to bring that question out today. I'm gonna wait for him to come on, and we can really and truly just chop it up. And you're invited back, Keith, if you want to come when we do. But
Okay.
he spoke about assimilation, and from our
Hmm.
youth in Detroit, where we saw majority of our teachers were people of color, right? And then we moved to Ypsilanti, where my mom grew up. Now it was more 70-30 white teachers, female teachers. And he said that it affected him, right? So we chopped it up for about 45 minutes to an hour about that. And it was a great conversation. That's why I want to make sure we double back on that, Jaquari. But I thought about this, and this is a question, and you can take this anyway. And matter of fact, when I was preparing the notification, I actually put it in my discussion on Facebook. The question is it me, but does it seem like a lot of white people feel more American than we do because they're white? What is your opinion about that? Do you think that I'm being I'm exaggerating the point, or it's not being realistic? Or what is your personal opinion about what I just said? And here's where I what kind of reinforces why I think this way sometimes. January 6th, where they treated that insurrection, which everybody know what insurrection means, right? And they kept saying insurrection, but because they didn't call a rebellion or a coup, insurrection was a lesser thing, but it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? But they all crashed it.
Yeah, rape is rough sex. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, exactly. They came, they crashed the Capitol building, did all these different things, but it was played off because the majority of them were middle class Americans.
Mm-hmm.
And they just so happened to be white. There were some black folks there, but my point is middle class white Americans. And they downplayed it, where they downplayed it to the point where when the arrests started coming out, they were shocked they were being arrested. Right? That's one example. Another example where President Trump, both times he was elected, the majority of what you was hearing was he's a man's man. He speaks his mind. Right? But he wasn't really saying he wasn't saying anything that was meaningful. What he was doing was echoing fears. So the sheep followed behind him. This is my opinion, guys, and it's no proven fact, but this is what I've seen over the last 8 years, 8 to 12 years, 8 years right now. But my point is, those are my examples. Like, you think, where do you think you could do these things? But if the roles were reversed, had our community stormed the Capitol building, what would we be talking about? You understand what I'm saying to you? What would have happened that day?
It'd be the 5th year of the new slavery.
But
National Guard having a turkey shoot.
yes,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they look.
but
They're
Jaquari, not to cut you off. Answer that first question first. In your opinion, what do you think?
yeah.
Do you think they feel more entitled and more of American than us, even though we were born here?
Yeah, I mean,
Along with them?
they've had federal papers to back that shit since the inception of this country. Yeah, I mean that frame of thought for them. I mean, it'd take generations to get that out of their minds, to see us and the other minorities as equally, as equals or whatever. It's written in the Constitution.
But here's my thing: the color of their skin, though. See, that's where my question is actually geared toward, because it's the power structure. Because people in power look like them, right? And it breaks down to the color of their skin. Is it? And this is not a thesis that I'm trying to prove. I'm saying, am I being far fetched when?
No, I mean, but
I see that.
the people who rediscovered this continent when they first came here, their intentions for this, their intentions were for this to be a white nation. That's my opinion. I mean, and at some points, you find it in history books. That was the intention. So yeah, I mean, I said it on this podcast before, man. The insurrection is the most American thing they probably could have done.
Good point.
They see themselves as revolutionaries, and they want to have some sort of impact, the same kind of impact that their forefathers had. but they can't do it. It's not possible. It's not possible. This America is not a frontier anymore. So at some point, there everybody's frontier mentality is going to have to be dashed on the rocks, man, or this nation is going to fucking burn. You know, there's nothing left to discover in this country. The resources are already found. We got to figure out a way to share the shits now.
Okay. Keith.
Yes, Corey hit it spot on. What I was gonna say, short and sweet, was yes, they do feel that way because, and I can't say I disagree with them. They are Americans. Uh, that's the label they put on even the whole continent, North America. Before then, that ain't what they called it.
Mm-hmm.
The people covered with land, people covering the land, living there, and they won't call it America. But to the victor go the spoils.
Gotcha.
So they put that label, that name on it. And where we make a mistake, and have always made a mistake, in my opinion, is when they get up and they start talking about American and this, our rights and our this, they not talking to us. They ain't talking to you. They ain't talking to us. But we get caught up in it, and we think, yeah, we, us, we.
Shouldn't we? No. Shouldn't we?
You don't have, yeah. At this point in time, yeah, because we in it. You in the soup now. So you in the soup. We in the soup. We deep in the soup. We part of the soup now. But
And
but you can't be butt hurt when you get reminded every now and then. Hey, we ain't talking. This ain't for you though. Yeah, you over here. You were born over here. Yeah, but this is for us.
I get and you know what's so crazy about it? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, oh man, they not treating us equal and all this, because first and
Yeah,
foremost,
man.
how I think about myself is I run my life as being an American citizen. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna try to prove anything different to anyone, right? But understanding that when a system really tells you that they don't give a fuck about your color. Now, this is not being racial. This is the simple fact where, let's talk about DEI. It's the biggest bunch of horse shit I've ever heard. First and foremost, it started as a fucking theory and it was not put into practice. Why? Because we had what? What did we have in place that they just repealed for the colleges? What did we have? Affirmative action. That was in place. DEI was a theory for a professor, right? But you basically are saying, my opinion, that is people who don't look like me are DEI hires and women trying to protect which is not yours, because the workforce is still a vast majority of who? How are you even thinking that this even matters, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, that goes back to that sheep mentality. Somebody give you a selling point because you're afraid, and you go run with it.
Mm-hmm.
You go run with it. And all your logic is gone. You sound so stupid. Every time I hear the DEI, we're going to do the DEI. Guess what that is? That ain't nothing but smoke. Because guess what I'm doing? I'm in here, me and my people in here is robbing you dumb motherfuckers blind. It is what's going on. And people People refuse to do it because guess what? They want to live in their comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? It's what they want to do. That do I care? Do I care that you want to just live around people of your color? No, I don't give a shit. I don't care. As long as I have what? My family is good. I'm working, and you are not treading on my shit.
Just
I mean,
leave me alone.
that's just that's my personal opinion. Yes, if I can help others in my community or downtrodden people, guess what I'm gonna do? That's what I'm going to do. You feel me? But I'm not gonna sit up here and have a conversation with somebody who clearly is clueless about what fucking life is about. Really. You with us. Do you understand that you're down here with the same crumbs from the same pie. That pie is gone. The leftovers is us, the so-called middle class and poorer people, white, black, or whatever. That's it. It is gone. It is gone. But you want me to you are made to believe that it's my fault. It's my fault that you don't get an actual piece of the damn pie, the actual fucking piece of apple. You know what I'm saying? That's my fault when I'm sitting up here trying to gather my crumbs. I'm looking at you, you're looking at me. Well, the man on high, the guy I see on TV, said it's your fault. How the fuck is it my fault, man? I'm going to work with you every day. You feel me? That was one of my rant situations, man. Y'all got to excuse me. But is there any way in your mind? Well, let me what Eric LaFleur has to say. He said black folks wish they could have had the courage to storm the Capitol, but religion and the government put the fear to not fight back. Instead, we rather hold hands with white folks for validation of approval to be equal. My opinion, great stream tonight.
Eloquent, bro. Eloquently put.
That was beautifully. I have to push back on one thing. I don't think we ever wanted to storm the Capitol because we're too busy trying to get along. Because that's a great statement, though. I get that. But my point about them storming the Capitol is they had the lion's share of everything. And they got talked into going into that place and tearing their own shit down. That's what happened.
Whenever you come,
Go ahead.
whenever you come from a section of society, man, that is encouraged to write their congressman, what kind of mindset does that put you in? Because at one point in time, regular housewives or whatever, if they see something in the community that they saw was fucked up, they could write their congressman.
I know.
They could write. They could write their congressman. Would he respond to it? Who's to say? But for them to even think that was an option, for them to even know that was an option, that's a lot of I don't want to use the word privilege, but that's exactly what the fuck it is. It was a privilege to be able to do that shit. And when
smoke though.
But when privileges are taken away for reasons that the masses don't deem good enough, then they get pissed off.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think about this, right? They have always been afraid when it came to the Panther movement. Early on in the civil rights movement, they was afraid this would happen, but the Panther movement organization, you know what I'm saying, understanding the law, why different laws when it came to firearms, how the whole, because of the Black Panthers, how firearms laws changed across America because they were law students who understood, who were smart enough to understand the law and what their rights were, right? And all these different things, when we exercise our rights as Americans, right? Because that's key. Exercising your right as Americans as written, you feel what I'm saying? Then it changes. It changes. So it will be harder for us to do what? To be Americans.
I think, man, when people realize that the bad shit can start happening to them too, then that's when they double down to keep the focus on a
That's real.
certain section.
Yeah.
You know, let somebody get stopped by the police, twice in a month. See, they looking to punch down on somebody.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I mean, okay, let me just use this as an example. The history we've been taught, U.S. history we've been taught, right? When the elite start to take away from their soldiers, the masses, they have rebelled, right? And if there's any minorities in the past, they were blamed for the elite taking from them. This is in our history books. This is why there's been a concerted effort to do what? To change history, to exclude it. Because God forbid these folks see that they are being played by their leaders and to direct it towards the minorities. God forbid that. Because sometimes, man, Vietnam, hell, revolutionary, different skirmishes in which people have gone against the government was mostly done by who? White people. Against who? The government. You guys can go into the history books and you can see.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
what ran them over here.
that shit, look,
Going
I'm
against
not
Britain.
telling any lies.
Right.
Guess what? They exclude that. You know what I mean? And look, this is I'm not getting into no white people this, black people that. No, that ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about common sense, man. Come on, where did it go? Or did we ever have common sense?
That's a good question, man. I mean,
And that's all. Did we ever have common sense?
because
We did.
when things got better for us, were they ever good?
Right.
Not as good as they could have been.
That's
I don't
real.
remember them being good.
Mm-hmm.
There's been some moments, but that was just in groups.
Moment.
Overall, good. No,
Blessings from God.
I haven't even read about it. Yeah.
And look, wealth is not, in my opinion, I want to be wealthy. I will be wealthy, right? But wealth is not an indicator of good. It's not even close, in my opinion. Wealth has a lot of can put you in position materially, home, clothes, food, whatever, family, making sure they straight financially, right? But is it good? You being a human being, what is, you know what I'm saying? How are you?
I get it, man. But shit, I sure wouldn't fight the chance to find out if wealth would damage my character. Shit.
Yeah.
No, but you see what I said. I have nothing against wealth. Have nothing against wealth because you got to think about it. We have been conditioned to do what? To make $1 out of 15 cents. You know what I'm saying? Increase it, to go forward, grind, and do our thing. So wealth to me is a good thing, but I do not put it in the same category as humanity. That's all. How many times have we seen on social media where a man just built his house, a woman just built her house? It's probably about 5,000 square feet, nice neighborhood, gated community, and all that. And they moving in, and folks come, neighbors come over to be nosy and misread who the homeowner is. So your wealth did not prevent that. That's what, Corey, that's what I meant by good. It's not always good. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
If you're wealthy and you still, you know, making it your business to give a shit about something like that, then you don't need that money.
No, hey, look, if you make the money, you deserve it. But the thing about it is, you still got to work on yourself. If that shit bother you,
No, you don't. Oh yeah, yeah. If
if
it
that
bothers,
shit bother you, you
yeah,
got to work on yourself. Because guess what? You work to do this. You have
yeah.
accomplished this shit. So
I, look,
why would you care?
when I get this money, man, I'm gonna be a different guy.
Oh yeah, look,
And I've told people that for years. Oh,
I'm not.
you gonna let
I'm not.
money change you? You goddamn right it's gonna change. It's supposed to.
It's gonna change my address.
It's gonna change everybody and everything. Shit.
No,
I mean,
and I get that. I
and
get.
I'm not saying I'm gonna be shitty, but you know, it's gonna be just there,
I hope. I hope that I'm gonna tell you
just
now.
this side of shitty, Jack. What? Hey, look, yeah, I buy and sell you, motherfucker. You talking?
No, no. You know what?
So I'm gonna have a long driveway.
I pray that. I pray
Yeah,
that I am going to work to be the same human being that I am today. I'm gonna be a little more careful. You feel what I'm saying? But see, what I'm going to be is a blessing to other people.
I'm gonna bless other people, man. But shit,
Mhm.
I'm gonna talk nasty to the motherfuckers as I do.
Yeah.
Ah,
I mean, cause what you gonna
First,
do? Yeah, but you gonna refuse
I'm
it?
not, I can't listen. I cannot be any different than who I am today, bro. And and they say
I'm
money change you. No, I think the only thing money changes if you let it is your address.
You don't think
gonna
it's
give
supposed?
you. Yeah.
Go ahead, Keith. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say I'm gonna give you what you wanted when I was struggling.
Mm,
If you didn't want to be bothered by me, I'm gonna help you with it.
yeah.
I'm gonna have a long driveway. You ain't have to be passing by me. No, your ass, you nosy.
Yeah.
You
Shit.
being nosy. You ain't have to pass by me.
In order for you to see my house, you got to drive up that motherfucker.
Yeah, you being nosy. Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna help you whatever. You ain't having time of day. I'm gonna help you with it. I'm gonna keep the same energy. I ain't gonna change it all. As far as you concerned, I ain't gonna change it all.
Yeah,
I ain't have no time for him. Or if you my guy, hey, I'm still your guy.
yeah, yeah. I think that when it happens, I am. It is important because of my struggle now, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, right? That I understand because it's constant of understanding who we are as people. I mean, that's a constant thing. I don't care what anybody says, man. I don't care if you're the smartest, most spiritual, most emotional human being. As long as you're on this earth, you're gonna continue to evolve and you're gonna continue to learn. Period. If you stop, it's because you're lazy. You know what I mean? It's
Or you
because you're
welcome.
lazy.
Or you welcome.
You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. And Jaquari, I'm joking when I say this, but if you let it, it's because you want your bitterness to drive the car for a little while.
Yeah. The
I
reason I'm
mean,
so the
I
reason I'm
can't. I'm not bitter because what do I say to you? I tell you from giddy up if you offend me.
yeah,
You feel what I'm saying?
but the reason I'm such a good dude is because I ain't really got the money not to be. It's
He
as
said,
simple
I
as
can't
it's just,
afford to be what I
I
be.
I can't afford to be
Right.
anything that I'm opposite to what I am right now. You know what
No
I
doubt.
mean? I mean, no,
No doubt.
I wouldn't be shitty. I wouldn't be shitty to people, man. But your finances, man, an abundance of finances, man, can free you up to do a lot of shit, man. For real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, the more money you got, the, the more honest you can be.
But look, that's why my plan is in place because, like I said, y'all know, you and Keith know, and other folks know that I'm always honest. I'm not a jerk with my honesty, but you feel what I'm saying? You know, like yo, if I think you're a dickhead, you're a dickhead in my eyes by what I say to you. You know what I'm saying? You have an idea. I don't have to tell you. I ain't gonna have to. I don't have to treat you in a shitty way, but understand your dickheadedness exudes, and it's not missed by me. You feel me? This is why I don't go out and try to be crusade. And when I was a youngin', I used to do that crusade to sift out the dickheads. And I said to myself, well, why? But then I realized because of my hurt feelings as I was growing up as a child, trying to make up for what me being slighted as a black child growing up in Detroit and in Ypsilanti, growing up and realizing my maturity level is well past that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but
Everybody don't achieve it though, Jacory.
yeah, we raised, man, to fight those dragons. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah,
you call it bitterness, man. I think I'm gonna chance it and call it growth because even if the interaction ends up negatively, man, when you face it as an adult, you're not that same person anymore, man. You should have learned, you know, from that feeling, man, that you
yeah,
got when
yeah,
you was in those situations, how to deal with it.
yeah,
And of course, at first your reactions are going to be hostile until you figure out how to feel your way around those moments.
In their opinion, you're being hostile. You're gonna be just being
you speaking up.
in the moment. You in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
You not. They really ain't on your radar, but they gonna see it as you being hostile.
Yeah.
yeah,
But all our
yeah.
moments don't belong solely us, though. You know.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. I get it. I think, and you know what? And just to chime in, piggyback on what you just said. a lot of times our responses are not for us, but it's that
Mm,
individual that we're dealing with.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I can say this real quick. Growing up, being in my 20s, spending them in Pittsburgh, up into my 30s and down here, right? I have run into people from 10, 15, 20 years in my past will remind me of conversations that I had with them that, and no disrespect to them, that I don't remember because I am a vessel. A lot of conversations I have, right, are geared. God is having me listen and respond to them. Me being a vessel, but having these conversations with you folks, right, and they telling me, "Hey, you remember when you and I?" And there's no disrespect to them. It's just a simple fact that I try to be myself, and and just to be genuine as possible in these conversations. You remember that time and we talked and you said this to me and this, and I'm nodding my head. And that meant something to me. And I'm like, I do remember, but the one thing that I feel is gratitude because I always looked for that when it came to people coming to me talking to people, me remembering conversations and what somebody gave me. And when people remind me of a conversation I had with them, and I was able to do that for them, man, that is glorious to me. You feel me? Because I can be a braggadocious dude, man. You understand that I didn't make it to the NBA nor the NFL, right? But I made it to places that a lot of fucking people didn't make. So if I wanted to be a braggadocious dude and embellish on my stories, I got two lifetimes worth of talking shit. You feel me? But no, that's my personal shit. That's me personally. You know what I'm saying? That's my life that I lived. If you ask me a question about it, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna let you know. We good, blah blah. We can have that conversation. But me volunteering what I once was as an athlete, I could never, and it's a little bit off, but I could never be that kind of person, man. You want to know why? Because of gratitude. God blessed me to be in those positions, man. And he was the only reason why I was there. You know what I'm saying? He was the only reason why I was there.
Personally, man, if I do talk about football, man, I talk about how it saved me, man. Football saved me, man. Because, before I started playing, I didn't think there was anything else for me. I didn't like basketball, man. Didn't like it, man. That was you and Damon stuff, you know. And you guys definitely excelled at football, but you was doing basketball at the time, man. So when I reminisce about those days, man, rarely is it about the exploits or anything like that, man. It's about the lessons that I learned, man. The character that I tried to develop. The work ethic. You know what I mean? So everything, those sorts of things definitely had their place.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. My next question to you guys is, and chat, people in the chat, please chime in on this because I would love to hear what you guys have to say. What impression, if you was able to do so, what impression do you think, no, do you feel or want to leave on other people in your lifetime? Like if you was able to really leave an impression upon people, what would it be and why?
Off the top of my head, it would be that you can live in this you can live in this world in in its present state and give off a positive uh, perspective when they see you, despite of what's going on around you. You still even keel. You still just adapting, and you're uh, as good as you can be. You're as thoughtful as you can be. You're respectful, unless someone calls for you to not be respectful, and you do it because it's the thing that you're supposed to do,
Okay.
and you're doing it out of love for others. You're not doing it so they can say that about you, hang that tag on you, but you're saying it because you're doing it because that's your way of expressing love to others.
Hmm.
So that's what I would want uh, them to think about me. Uh, I don't know if I told you, share this with you all. Just a quick story. Just this is probably the most touching thing I've had through my whole law enforcement career. This lady called me and she said, I'm a parent. They had a bomb threat at the school that day. And she said, my son called me. I heard about the bomb threat. She said, but I wanted to compliment you and say this to you. She said, my son he's in sixth grade. He's not a courageous kid. He said, and I called him because I thought for sure he'd want to leave school. And he said, no, I don't want to leave, Mom. I think I'm gonna stay at school today. And she said, really? She said, okay. She said, okay, I'm just checking. And he said, no, I'm gonna stay here, even though it is a bomb threat. And she said, what made you decide to stay? He said, I saw Officer Barnes. He's walking down the hall like he usually does. He's smiling. He's talking to everybody like it's a regular day, like everything is fine. He said, so if he's not worried, he's okay. I'm okay.
Yeah, yeah,
So you never know who's watching you,
that's
and
real.
you don't have to be doing something. But if she said, I just wanted to share that with you. She said, because I knew for sure he was packed and ready to go. So, so that's part of that's the kind of impression that thing is impressive. That's the kind of impression I would like to leave on
Hmm.
people that knew me or whatever.
Jaquari?
I think the impression I like to leave on people, man, is twofold, man. I like to leave people with understanding, man, and a sense of security. When I say understanding, man, I believe that when I'm speaking to people, man, I do everything I can to, you know, let them express themselves to their point. I don't rush people. I let people, you know, contradict themselves, say things that, they probably surprised to hear themselves, say or whatever. And insecurity, man, is just me growing up, just being an insecure kid, man, not really sure of myself, and just diving out on faith for everything, man. You know what I mean? And just taking a chance, you know. So when I interact with people, man, those are the two sentiments I want to leave with them.
Okay, okay. Before I tell you mine, I want to make sure Corey says authenticity because I was vulnerable. And, knowing Corey, he's always emphasized that, about himself to be. as true to himself as possible. And on the screen, KJ says impression. Said he keeps him 100 across the board, good, bad, or indifferent. But with that said, he isn't perfect. Nobody is. When you move in a way that it makes it impossible for anybody to besmirch your name, you're doing things the right way. KJ does things the right way. You know what I mean? And that's a beautiful sentiment, and really and truly, that is you, KJ. To be honest with you, you know what I mean. Um, Eric says the Armstrong brothers and Uncle John, you fellas was and still is a big influence in my life and in my journey. You guys are amazing. I've always appreciated you brothers for that. You know, it's always been love for you, Eric. you always been you always been a little brother to me. You know what I'm saying? And it's always been love, you know. You, your brother Jim and sister Tiffany. Always been love, brother.
My, my cousin brother.
Yes, sir. And John says, I hope my son remembers that I stood for our United States Constitution, every last amendment of it, bar none. I want to be remembered as an American Democratic voter and supporter of the United States of America. I believe in good work ethic.
Absolutely.
That is the honest and true, aspect on how you feel. And
You know,
go ahead, Jaquan.
but it's the one. It's the one thing, man. We should at least be able to come together on, man. But I've never heard anybody speak on it, man. Democrats and Republicans, American Democrats and Republicans work hard as fuck to maintain their shit. And
Yeah,
if it's one rallying cry, that's just solidify the whole nation. It should be that we all work hard.
yeah,
We all work hard, man. You know, and we all feel it as our God given right. To seek the representation that we see fit.
yeah, yeah.
So good point, Mr. Dorsey.
You know what? My opinion about it is my community, me, my family, and my community comes first and utmost. You know, on how I feel about myself. When I'm dealing with you, you know that without me saying anything to you, that I stand on my principles, whether I'm joking, whether I'm mad, whether I'm being insightful, whatever's going on, you see that I'm standing on my square, my principle, on who I am and how I'm going to always be. You know what I'm saying? I don't, as much as I try to impress upon people just how great a fucker I am, I don't try to impress upon people how great a fucker that I am.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't need to know that. What's important is the interaction that we're having at that moment. Period. That's just me. Because my journey has always been my personal journey. That's it. I have been taught and I learned a skill on how to treat people. This, I
Yeah,
just go ahead.
I've always believed, man, that you can tell a man's character just by the way he enters the room.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's I put a lot of stock in it, man. I don't rely heavily on verbal communication. I pay attention to body language. I pay attention to presence.
Yeah.
Because that's what I give off. I give off presence. I don't gotta say much. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
being the type of person, man, you know, who can check the mood of the mood of the room, you know, and have it register in a particular way, and you just go to work. I don't want to be in a oppressive environment,
Yeah.
so I do what I can to make sure everything is cool
Yeah.
without lording it over, people.
Um. You know what? I want to wish my brother Damon. I meant to do this before. I didn't even do. We ain't even do the housekeeping. But today, this weekend is my brother Damon and my sister-in-law Benita's wedding anniversary. Happy
Happy
anniversary to
anniversary.
Happy
you guys.
anniversary. Awesome.
All right.
And that's why Damon's not here today. And you know, I hope that you guys are lounging, sipping on a little bit of wine, eating on
Ba-
some cheese.
basking and shit.
Yeah, basking in your potential as a couple. You know what I mean? But happy anniversary to you guys.
It's
You know,
beautiful. How
yeah.
many years is it now?
Uh,
Bunch.
A
20,
month? Okay.
it may be 29 years.
All right.
Don't quote me on that, but it's up there.
Yeah, something like that. They've been they've been together for like 40.
Yeah, they've been together for
That's awesome.
yeah,
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
Crazy.
Okay. All right.
yeah. But let me just Malika said, I can only hope that I don't make anyone feel they're depleted after experiencing me. Got you. Man, that was look. That was a grenade right there. Great thing. Because some people drain you, physically and mentally drain you
Yeah.
just by being around them for a couple minutes. You're like, damn.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the self regulation comes in, though, man.
Yeah.
You got to be able to gauge it. You got to
Yeah,
be able to gauge it. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And if you're a person, who can tether that shit, you know, I don't- if you pay attention to dog psychology, man, the way a
Mm-hmm.
older dog, will tame a younger energetic dog with presence and
Mm-hmm.
just and gestures.
Yeah,
People we do the same thing. You
yeah.
know, little kids, all those little kids bouncing off the wall. Probably wouldn't do that with me. And I'm not an ogre, but I
Hmm.
know how to handle kids. I
Hmm.
know how to I know how to be firm and fun. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
So
No
yeah.
doubt.
You saying that right there, and Jacory made me think of true story. My youngest brother, we was sitting in the living room. My dad was sitting over there. He jumped off the chair. So he said, hey man, stop jumping off the chair. He was jumping like wrestlers do, jump off
Mm,
the ring, the rope.
mm,
So he got bold with it. He did it. He stopped for a minute, but he went for it. He climbed on the back of the couch,
mm,
stood up, put his hands over his head like this, and when he leaped off, he slipped, lost his balance, and fell like chest first on the floor,
mm.
and it knocked the wind out of him. And when he got ready to cry, he said, and my dad said, if you cry, I'm gonna beat the black off of you. And he said that he went,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that
he
remind me
kept
of
it all.
that remind me of it. I forgot what I did, but I fucked myself up, man. I mean, I was hurt bad. I probably I broke my foot.
Mm,
And it was a scenario where my dad told me, to stop doing something. I was hard headed. After he found out I broke my foot, he didn't get mad or nothing. He said, "Son, what you learn?" And I'm like, and back then when he say shit like that, man, I'd be mad at motherfucker. Like you
mm,
supposed to console me, bro. What is you
right.
talking about? I got a broke foot here.
He
Yeah.
trying to have a teachable
But
Yeah.
moment.
I tell you what, man, I ain't never broke another foot.
Yeah.
So I learned a whole lot.
Hey, look. I'm gonna share this with y'all. In my extra room, I used to change my uniform when I got off work. So nobody used that room. Now this is before Carson was born, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Jaquari, I think Jaquari was living on campus, but he was here that weekend. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready, I put my locked my gun up, put it in the safe,
Mm.
right? But I would hang, the pants for the weekend. I would hang the pants on the closet door, right? And I always told Keith, look, it was my capstone, Keith. I always
Mm-hmm.
told my son Keith, don't touch this. And
Mm-hmm.
you think he would understand because he's like in the sixth, seventh grade, something like that. Said, don't touch this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Jaquari and myself was downstairs, we vibing and all this.
Mm.
And the next thing I know, I heard Keith say, "Eh!" Just like that, right? I popped up, went running up the stairs, like, what's wrong? What's wrong? As soon as I walked in the room, I smelled it. Right? And Keith was like, nothing, it ain't nothing wrong. Eyes watering and snot.
Dying.
I said, son, what's wrong? Right?
You wanted to say it.
Yeah.
He got to. He had
You
to.
got you gotta say this because what did you do? You know what I'm saying? And so with my and Jaquari tell you with my boys, I'm always joking when they do dumb shit. I get mad, I chastise them, or we talk about it, and then I joke about it later, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at him, his nose is running and shit. He looking at me.
He got
Then
the
he
full
said,
experience then.
look, 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 look. He said, now it wasn't a full blast, Keith. It was, he's looking at it and shit. And like that.
You got a whiff of it. Okay.
Yeah. When he told me when he screamed, it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
because he sprayed his face. He said what he realized was his throat started tightening up, and he was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Oh man.
Oh my god, me and Jaquari laughed.
What you learn?
What did you learn?
What you learn, son?
Look, but I had to. That's when I started. What I started doing is, I knew when it came to my gun, it's always locked in the safe. When I started putting the cap in there too, I'm like, look, he the type. Well, he'll take his behind right back. Oh yeah,
He knew it. Yeah.
oh
This,
yeah.
this this is bad, Jack. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that tickled
Mm-hmm.
me, man. Cause the way he said it, I swear, I'm not exaggerating. He said, "Ah!" But look, here's the funny thing. When I walked up the stairs, right, the room is right across the hall from his. When I walked up
Mm-hmm.
the stairs, he looked at me, he ran into my arms. Boom! He ain't no hugger. He's like, boom! Ah! Ah! Look,
Everything. Look when you saw it? Was he trying to man up? Was he trying to be cool? Like he was
look, cause
like it's all I'm good.
yeah, because he did not want me to know. That's exactly what he did. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Straightening his clothes and fixing his hair and shit.
Before I got up the stairs, he was doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that-
Yeah.
All right, well, look,
Mm.
last question of the day, and it's simple. At the age you are right now, What is the most simple thing that you would change that you think, and this is for you too, chat. What is the one simple thing, and I said simple for a reason, that you would change that will make the biggest difference in your life today?
Financial literacy.
Okay. So starting from when you first started working, or
Oh yeah. Well, before I started working, man, because you know I was a pretty fair bottle hustler back when I was a little old bitty boy.
Mhm.
You know, and we always had trash bags full.
We
You
did.
know, and in the summer, you know, I get up and in the morning and count out shit $5 worth of bottles. You know, that's two three trash bags full right there. We still got several bags in the garage. Now,
Yeah,
had I been enterprising and thinking about real money, I'd have took all the motherfuckers.
gotcha.
You know, and wouldn't have had to wake up the next morning and do the same thing again.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's planning for the future, man. You know, because right now I'm sitting and sweating about retirement. You know, not that it's I mean it's coming. It's definitely coming, and I'm gonna have something. But shit, I want to ball when I retire, man. I want to be comfortable. I want I want to make a motherfucker sick when I retire.
I
You
got
know what I mean? And as far as a number, man, trying to figure out what's the proper number of resource. You know, like money coming in. That bothers me. It really does.
you. I get it. I get it. Okay. Keith, what simple thing would you change?
Uh, One, what Jacory was saying, yeah, financial literacy, and not only that, uh, what I've said, if I had children, I would have from the beginning run the household like a business or like life,
Okay.
and so they could learn consequences and responsibility and things, life lessons daily, opposed to being exposed to getting hit with stuff. And yeah, financial literacy and how to be more, I guess, selfish.
Gotcha. Okay.
Selfish.
All right. Like be more specific when you say selfish.
Yeah, be more selfish and not neglect myself
Okay.
to help to make sure other people are good. I think there's been many cases where I could have taken care of myself and made sure others were good, but in my mindset, I would do without,
Hmm.
and it hurt me, and
Okay.
it hurt me, and all around because it's been going on for a long time. Long time, meaning from childhood up, it's been going on. So,
Okay. I feel that. I feel that. I think me personally, the simplest thing I can change is understanding every idea that I had was a great fucking idea. Every single idea that I had was a great idea because everything that I've ever done was well thought of, ever said was well thought out. But I can think of things where it could have made me happy or made me wealthy that I didn't pull the trigger on because I let things. And this is not a saying that I messed up or anything like that. I'm saying to you, I think being more self-aware, man. Understanding I'm this actually God blessed me to be this great discerning human being. And I didn't have enough confidence in it to really and truly ball the fuck out. I balled out. I'm talking about ball the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? So I teach my sons, your goal is to ball the fuck out. So you put everything in place to be that person. You know what I'm saying? Everything that you do is a major benefit for you. No more, no less. You know what I mean?
Can I ask you guys a question? A question, really quick. Okay, up to this point, was the suffering you endured throughout your life necessary for you to become the man that you are today?
Me personally, yeah. It has shaped every look. It's necessary, but at the same time, some of it could have been prevented. But
That was
personally,
that was the that was going to be the second part of my question. I mean, the self-imposed suffering.
yeah, yeah, man. Well,
Could you
okay.
have done without it?
I try not to do that. Self-imposed. You know what I mean? And self-imposed is just living life anyway. So if it was something that was preventable and I still did it and still had to pay the consequences, I'd chalk that up for, that's just the price of living. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel. Like, look, I get it. I get it. I'll simplify it. My knees was bad while I was working. Both knees was bad, bone on bone and all this shit, right? But the reason why they were that way is because I loved the basketball and I was overweight and I still played hard as hell and knew that I was going to have to suffer the repercussions later on. But guess what? I got back on that court every single time. So that's the most simple way I can answer that question. You know what I'm saying? And that's the simplest way I can answer it. But yeah, man. I think it goes hand in hand on shaping the human being that you are.
Yeah. No, I don't think I had. Now that I think about it, nah. I was born into some bullshit.
Yeah.
I was as a child. It was some stuff I went through because I was just with them. I had to be with them, and they went through. They made some decisions, and I had to go through some stuff. So nah.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
What compelled me to ask the question was a statement KB made about doing for other people, you know, at the sake of your own comfort. You know what I mean? I mean, the world is already designed to kick a human being in the ass, and
Hmm.
and the suffering that we impose upon ourselves, is absolutely unnecessary, man. Because all right, say you got a car, right? Car got four tires. Back right tire has got a slow leak. Every time you notice the tire is flat, you go put an air in. What could you do to prevent that from happening?
Get another tire or get it
You
repaired.
buy another fucking
Another
tire,
time.
man.
Yeah.
Stop putting air in the motherfucking tire. Get you a new tire, bro.
If you can afford it. We gotta
Yeah.
throw that in there.
Mm.
If you can
You
afford
can
it.
get a
Because
used tire. Just get one that
I'm
works.
saying
listen, listen,
you can do something better than having to go and stop at the
when
7-Eleven every morning to fill
when
that car.
hey Jaquari,
Yeah.
when I was a youngin, when I was a youngin, when I was fucking licking lard and straining dishwater,
Mm.
I was at that 7-Eleven every morning, filling that tire up as tight as it can fucking be.
But did you feel? All right? How long did that last?
when I got some money.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and then when I discovered that you could go to the gas station and get a plug in that motherfucker too.
There are solutions, man.
There's
There's solutions.
solutions. When
There's
when you look
solutions
for
for
'em,
our problems, man. Yeah. Yeah.
it's always a solution. I agree with you.
Pain is inevitable. Suffering is a fucking choice, bro.
Ah, yeah. I get your point, but yeah, look, I'm gonna tell you. The thing about it is, I never forget that we are on a journey, personal journey. We personally are on a journey, whether we got other people depending on us or not. It's still our journey. The people that's depending on us, they are on their own personal journey too, whether or not they're gonna be heavy baggage or not, as we're going forward. You feel what I'm saying? So when I start to feel anxiety, high anxiety, or start to feel low and mad about shit, I realize it's still my journey and I gotta find a way. You know what I'm saying? Gotta find a way. All right, well, look, that was a quick 2 hours, and I want to thank everybody who chimed in: Malika, John, KJ, and Cobia, Corey,
Eric.
Eric, cousin Eric. Always, man. Great, great, great comments, man. For real. Let me make sure I got everybody. I think I covered everybody. Malika, love you, baby. Always great comments. You know what I'm
Who,
saying?
and who was that from Minnesota? Again, he came back. Yeah. Tune in again.
Brett Wade,
Yeah.
Brett Wade TV. We're gonna have
Appreciate you
to,
coming back, bro.
you know what I mean? I'm thinking it might be our cousin Lawrence, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But I meant to call him and see. I'm gonna call him tomorrow. Shanice, Lil Mama, always, always a pleasure to everyone. Look, this is a movement for us. Keith, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You know, look, it's always a
Always.
pleasure. Always a pleasure when you come on, brother. You know.
Hey, yo, KB,
Mhm.
Cowboy KB.
Okay.
Yeah. Get your hat, goddamn it.
Okay.
That's your
I,
nickname.
I got to make Cowboy KB. Okay. I could do that one. I stay away from Scarborough. You know they going all the way again. So
Mm,
they go.
I ain't think about that. Yeah, you right.
yeah. But look,
hmm
we here every Friday. Little house call. Look, go to our YouTube channel, Strong Perspective Podcast. Like, share, and subscribe. Let your people know to tune in to every Friday. We're on Facebook Live, we're on our YouTube Live, and we're also on IG Live. I don't think I've ever been on the CIG, but we're live there. And this is sort of a movement. You're getting to me understanding the kind of conversations we have. You know, tune in. You know, don't be that person who comes in late and say, I knew y'all was gonna make it. And I'm not saying that in a bitter way. I'm saying to you, you missing some great conversation and content. You don't have to listen to the whole podcast. No, I'm saying to you is check us out and see if you like it. You know, we love returners, man. We love people, KJ, Malika, John, you know, Ancobia, Corey. You know what I'm saying? Cousin Eric. These folks is tuning in and they love the content that we're giving. Keith, friend of the show. We've been blessed. Corey, me, you, and Damon been blessed, bro.
Absolutely.
We've been blessed because this going on our third year doing this thing. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And it's gonna start to pay dividends. You know, can't wait.
It's
Can't
like it's
wait.
been that long.
Yeah, I know.
Hey,
But you
yo.
know, if you're having fun, yeah.
Hey, yo, before we go, hey, YouTube, the Piccolo player is a motherfucker. Make us famous.
Well, What you say?
The Piccolo player is a motherfucker.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember. Yeah. Who
I'm just being,
called it? Yeah,
I'm just
who
being
called?
silly, bro.
Who
Who
called
called
that?
this motherfucker Piccolo player?
A
Yeah.
Piccolo. I ain't the man sitting next to the man sitting next to the man.
Absolutely, absolutely. Make us famous, goddamn it!
Got
I dare you.
got you. Got
I dare you.
you. Like I said, tune in next week. Go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. This is a Strong Perspective podcast. Hey, Damon, Benita, please enjoy your anniversary, man. We love y'all.
Yes, please do.
Next week, 7:30. Tune in, and we out.